that Antichrist and the way that he lived his life. And verse 2 and 3 is going to be our focus this morning. It says, to fulfill my joy. Paul saying, fulfill my joy by being like-minded, having the same love, being of one accord, of one mind. Let nothing be done through selfish ambition or conceit, but in lowliness of mind, let each esteem others better than himself. This is how unity takes place. This is how unity happens in your marriage. This is how unity happens in the church. This is how unity happens in the workplace. Even if you've got Christians and non-Christians working together, or animosity between people, when it's hard to be angry at someone who's dying for you. It's hard to be upset with someone who's laying down their life for you. And the Word is basically saying to us, let nothing be done with selfish motive. Basically meaning with all of our life and of all of our ways, let it be done with other people in mind. Let it not be done with our self in mind. There's a lot of people who do a lot of things and they have self in mind even when they do it. And sometimes they do good things sometimes and they got self in mind when they're doing it. But there's a selfless life that needs to happen in our home. It needs to happen toward our wife and toward our husband. It needs to happen because they're on their team. And so we need to have a selfless life. We need to be promoting others above ourselves. Ephesians 5:28 tells us husbands ought to love their wives as their own bodies, and he who loves his wife loves himself. We can practice this scripture in many areas, but in regards to this, it's talking about husbands, love your wife. Lay down your life for your wife. She's on your team. Love her. Because when you love her, you're loving yourself. You don't love her, you don't get love back. Because she is one with you. This takes practice. It's not something that's easily done. It's something that you, as a newlywed, you must practice it every day. And I'm looking at the newlyweds when I say that. You must practice it every day. 15 years into marriage, you still must practice it. 30 years, 50 years. I believe there's still going to be practice. I can't wake up one day and say, well, I served you yesterday. There has to be an attitude that says, I want to serve. When it comes to our children, they're on the same team with us. They have our name. They have our bloodline. And we need to learn to lay down our lives for our children. I don't mean spoil them. And I don't mean buy them all the toys that they want in life. But to learn how to lay down our life for them. Listen, if we don't discipline our children because it makes us feel bad, we still have selfish motive. We're still exalting self. To love your children is to discipline them. Spending time with them. Quality time. Making sure that you take the time to spend time with them. A lot of nights are a lot like this past Tuesday night. This past Tuesday, I worked from the time I got up to the time that Celebrate Recovery or Celebrate Victory was over. And I got home, and we got home late. I got there about 9:30, 9:45. And I just wanted to zone. You know, I wanted to zone out. I wanted a remote in my hand, fall asleep in the chair. Didn't matter. I didn't want to be messed with, bothered. Didn't want to tuck nobody in. Didn't want any of those things. It was just, I wanted to zone out. But of course, I did tuck the kids in and I prayed for them. And they didn't want to go to sleep. One of them didn't want to go to sleep. Neither probably, but one, you know, my first response was to get frustrated. This is my time. I'm just going to be honest with you. I need it. And I did need it. I needed some R&R, but my youngest needed something else. They hadn't seen me all day. So I had to sacrifice. I had to give up whatever show it was. I don't remember, you know. It didn't really matter what it was. It was just a zone to get into that place. And so I had to sacrifice that time and go up, sit on the bed, read a book for 5 or 10 minutes, and pat her on the head or whatever. And things were fine. But we need to have that attitude of service. That attitude that we're going to serve and we're going to be a servant to our children. We're going to go to work, and we're going to be the hardest worker on the team. Christians ought to have this attitude. We ought to have the attitude that says, man, I'm going to work harder than anybody else. Others may have a lackadaisical attitude about what needs to happen, but not me. I'm going to work hard. Paul says, look out not only for your own interest, but also the interest of others. What am I